producer.
What?
Because that
What?
has been the rift in our relationship.
Oh my God, I told you, I freaking told you there was something there. What on earth? Y'all are crazy. 400 subscribers. I don't even know what to say. I am filled with gratitude. Thank you so much. We are fighting for 1,000. Once we get there, we're going to be looking at that live show on Thursdays, and I can't wait for it. I can't wait. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications when new videos come out. And let's get right into it because the madness is real. And guess what? Here we are on decision day. And my prediction is that none of them stay together. None. Maybe Michael and Chloe. But that's not even today. That's going to be a couple episodes down the road as they kind of see where the couple stand and probably still follow Michael and Chloe's journey, if you will, however you want to say it. But right now, we are focused on the other couples, Emily and Brennan, Becca and Austin, Cameron and Claire, and it doesn't disappoint because it is madness. Again, my prediction, none of them stay together. So let's see how it bodes my prediction, if you will. What do y'all think? Having known that you have already seen this episode when you're watching this video, I'm sure, what were you thinking beforehand? What was your thoughts? Did you think any of them were going to stay together? I mean, I've been pretty consistent for the most part. In the beginning, I thought, I was thinking more along the lines of Austin and Becca might stay together, but then I got to the point of saying probably not, and now I'm just like, no, not gonna happen. So is that where y'all were at? What's the deal? First, we're gonna start with Emily and Brennan, and oh my God, the train wreck is real. It just went off the rails, full chemical disaster. It's madness. It is madness.
We go through so many vetting
techniques,
months.
Do you
months
now?
Of vetting.
Months and months of vetting. This is him talking about Emily and Brennan, talking about all the vetting techniques they do. The vetting that clearly he got through and just completely snowed y'all by lying about him being a very selfless person. We saw his video. He snowed y'all. Y'all should be able to notice that he was lying and he would be no fit for the show. And you know what? Unless they are complete idiots, which I don't think they are complete idiots, I think they're for the ratings. And so because of that, they put him in there because they knew it would work for the ratings. And what do you know? It does not disappoint.
I would run at the slightest red flag.
I'd run at the slightest red flag. In the past is what he's talking about.
Or slightest inconvenience, right? And
Would
never
you?
Really giving it my all.
But now you did. But now it's his contention that he actually gave it his all. He's actually saying, in the past, I would run from the red flags, but I saw all these red flags with her, and I didn't run because I wanted it to work. His red flag is that she's negative and not positive enough. She's negative because of you, bro. It's you. It's always been you. And yet you cannot see it. You're trying to do damage control already because you know how bad you actually look. But it's not working. It is not working.
Of the controllables for
to control the controllables.
You, for us, for me.
Huh?
And that is through telling me to delete diary cams and me feeling at times that I couldn't fully stick up for myself.
He acts like he's surprised.
Because of two reasons. One, I was trying to fix whatever was already broken.
What was broken?
And two, the repercussions that happen after every single conversation.
So it sounds like that she's already a battered woman. So she's, trying to take control, having me delete diary cams. I love how Pastor Cal looks actually surprised, like he didn't know all of this was happening because there's a producer with you all the time. It's like, what? I thought y'all were so good together. What are you talking about? Instead of well, yeah, but we got to get the ratings and stuff. Of course, this was destined to fail. After the honeymoon was when it started to crash and burn, and it all started really from what we saw on camera. Maybe it was before that off camera, who knows? But from what we saw on camera, when she initially said, you need to have fun, or whatever she said on the honeymoon, I can't remember exactly, and he started to be like, what does that mean? What do you mean I need to have fun? What is that? That's when it started to turn. Basically, he doesn't like to be questioned, so his whole thing as divorce is not an option was always BS, but yet, guess what? Who let them through? The experts, because they know best, right? Why are they even on this damn show? Now, one constant with Brennan is that he keeps trying to be the savior and he has a savior complex. Obviously, when we saw, I saved your life. How could you do this when I saved your life? But in reality, he keeps talking about, I was protecting you from, I didn't want to say these things because I was protecting you. Well, he gets called on it a little bit.
Like the
Can
words,
you clarify what you feel like you were protecting her
Yes,
from?
what?
the harsh words that could have had a impact on her in a way that was
What is that?
detrimental.
What are you even saying? So because you didn't tell her, I'm not attracted to you, like, were you going to tell her, you're ugly as hell? Like, I hope you die. What were you going to say that was so detrimental? I mean, I understand it can hurt your feelings to say you're not attractive or I'm not attracted to you. That could hurt your feelings. I get it. But you're making it seem like you were protecting her from the daggers that were going to come out of your mouth and just chop her all to pieces. Like, what are you thinking here? Like, his savior complex, his almost God complex, not quite there, but almost God complex, the narcissism that it looks like is just insane when it comes to him, because he's trying to make himself look like he's the savior while making her look like it's her fault they broke up. It's crazy. He's never going to have a relationship that works. He's just not. And you know what? I don't have great optimism for her either, because, she came into this. Obviously, it was always going to be a cluster. You have all these cameras around, and you never really had a relationship beforehand. So good luck afterwards attracting the right kind of person. It's just not going to work out well. So maybe collect your thoughts before you jump in a relationship, or go have one night stands, or whatever she's going to do, because it's just not going to be good for her either way.
Respectful as possible.
What's he going to say? What?
I see BS.
So he calls him out on it, but you know why I have no respect for this? Like, this is this whole big moment of like, we're finally going to call out Brennan. We've been trying to be respectful this whole season, but you know what? I'm trying to be respectful, but I see BS. You know when you call that out? In the damn interview, when he's saying that he is so selfless, and you look and you say, you don't look genuine. I've counseled a lot of people, so I'm good at reading body language. That's what he should be saying. And you're full of crap, and never brought him on the show. So now you coming in and acting like you're reading him now and like, oh, this is just BS. Dude, you have had 2 months. What kind of family therapist, counselor, pastor are you? And now it is that great time where they finally say, well, do you want to stay married or get divorced? Now, what do you think they're going to do? I mean, this would be the shocker of all shockers if they said, well, we're going to give it another go. But you never know, I guess.
I know I deserve better than you and better than this, and both
Better than you, better than
from a
this.
romantic relationship and a friendship
There was no
standpoint.
romantic. There was no
And most
friendship.
importantly, I deserve
What do you do?
respect. Which I don't think I
R-E-S-P-E-C-T,
received through this relationship, and what I know I will now need.
Oh, and what? Okay,
more
you'll
than
need
ever
therapy
moving
for
forward,
sure.
And therefore, I would like a divorce.
That was very, very long-winded to say, I would like a divorce. But, I mean, you could have just said, I have nothing else to say to this fool. I want a divorce. And that would be the end of it. Wonder what he's gonna say.
I am
What's
sorry
he
if you
gonna
ever felt like
say?
I tried to silence you. That
Okay,
was
you
never
did.
my intention.
You're not sorry for that, man.
But the reality is,
Whatever.
we just don't click.
He's trying to
from
save
a
face.
Physical or emotional
Or anything
perspective.
standpoint.
And, it's not a blame thing. It's not you did anything wrong.
Kinda
It's
is a
not
blame thing a
I
little
did
bit.
anything wrong. We
You
tried,
did a lot wrong.
and it just didn't work.
Long-winded.
So, with that, I would like to get a divorce.
To no one's surprise, like, I mean, all that to say, it's not a you thing, it's not a me thing, it's not a blame game, it's not a this, we did wrong, you did wrong, I did wrong. Dude, it was mostly you. Come on. I mean, she definitely came on without having the maturity or having really been in relationships to really know much of anything. But really, other than that, going through the relationship, there wasn't a whole lot she did wrong. And here we are. It was mostly you. You shut down. You did all the stuff with, oh, we can't do this with the cameras. You were the one that was kind of a dick. And here you are. It was you, man. But whatever. Obviously, it ended in the right place. They could not be together. So, to no one's shock, well, there you go. 1 for 1 with that one. We will see how the rest work out. Claire and Cameron had a journey, that is for sure. She pretty much iced him out until he, at some point, was like, look, I can't deal with it anymore. That's kind of what it seemed like. She put them some therapist skills. I don't know what you say about this. It doesn't seem like she has really many therapist skills, but whatever. She kept putting on that therapist hat, like she knows better about emotions than others. It was kind of off-putting. Eventually, he kind of got tired of all that and said that's enough. Now, after the fact, they seemed like they were connecting a little more, and maybe they could be some supports in some level. But, of course, no one is surprised if they don't stay together, although it would have been a fun twist if they end up staying together and he's like, yes, I'll choose you. Let's see.
Maybe we shot ourselves in the foot, but we
Shot
did talk
yourself in the
about,
foot, you say?
What did we ask for? And in
Oh,
hindsight,
you can't do that.
it was too early for that conversation.
Yeah, because they didn't give you anything you wanted, probably.
And she took issue with the word slender.
Okay, for one, the accent got me. I thought he said slander, but he said slender. And on top of that, he goes on to say that she doesn't view her body the way I view it, basically saying you're not overweight. When it said on my preferences that I like slender women, but yet he's not saying she's not slender or isn't attractive or anything like that. She's an attractive woman, but she took that as offensive because on his list it said slender. That's the kind of stuff that you dodged a bullet on. If she's going after that and you can't even explain it, then what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to be in fights all the time. Now, I think they're kind of, bearing the lead here because I would love to see what those preferences are to see, did they actually get any of the preferences? Probably not, because they're not trying to match you with someone you would actually be good with. They're trying to make ratings. They're trying to make good TV because it's a TV show. Shocker. But the thing is matchmaking is BS. Really, it is. It's like throwing crap against the wall and trying to make it stick. Because guess what? People do not connect by fitting together in a nice puzzle piece of a personality trait puzzle, if you will. It doesn't work like that. You can be very opposite from someone, but yet get along and have great chemistry. You can have a lot of similarities with someone and get along and have great chemistry. Now, if you differ on some of the very fundamental beliefs you have, you might run into some problems because if you really have some core values, it's going to be difficult if someone has very different core values. But I'm not saying it couldn't work. I'm just saying it'll be difficult. However, I would be willing to bet that if you saw their preference sheet, you'd be like, did you really match these people? Because that's not what it's about. It's not what it's about. They're not experts. They can call themselves experts, but they don't know what they're doing. We've seen this time and time again. Makes good TV, makes a good train wreck, does not make for love.
I mean, how long? And then
Listen to what
out.
she says.
So
they
how
work
am I
together for
supposed
how
to
long
even-
and then she moves out.
I was alone more than I was with
Listen
Kim.
to what he says.
We lived together for 4 weeks, just
Listen.
to throw that out there.
Listen.
And then after that, it was okay.
Yeah, and then after that, I was in hospital.
He calls her out because she basically says you immediately moved out. And in reality, he's like, we were together for 4 weeks. And then what happened? Then I was in the hospital. We weren't apart for a long period of time. Yes, we had these issues. Yes, we decided to separate. But then I was almost immediately in the hospital. What are you talking about? She's already trying to rewrite history. And you take that little bit of goodwill that y'all have come a long way. And now you're trying to make it look like he had this big part in the separation when it was mostly you. It was mostly you, Claire. Come on. As a mental health professional, should you not be able to accept your part in this? I say you should, or you should have your license revoked. License revoked.
I'm just going to say it very simply.
Very simply.
Whatever attraction I had for you is gone in
Oh.
that capacity. And when I look at you, and please don't take offense to this,
it's never
but
good when this
I
happens.
see a family member, I see a sister,
Okay, listen, I understand what he's saying. Don't take offense. He's trying to convey that you mean a lot to me, even if we didn't work out romantically. And it shouldn't be offensive to her because she's the one that shut him down anyway. So he's trying to say that no matter what, you still meant something to me. And I almost would want to carry on this relationship, not the marriage, but some sort of relationship because you meant something to me. So power to him for being kind of like above it all and being like, listen, we didn't work out, but that's okay. I value you. I care about you. I mean, that's adulthood. That is being a real adult. And kudos to him. You know, he's one of the few that actually was pretty solid throughout this whole thing. You know, we'll see what she says. Is anyone going to be shocked at that?
You know, I want a love where I can just express my
What kind of love is
feelings
that?
and
Oh.
not have to
What are you talking
explain
about,
myself.
man?
But all that to say, I
What?
respect you so much. I care about you so deeply.
Yeah.
But I would like to get a divorce.
Of course you would. You would like to get a divorce. Now, okay, fine, but at least they come off and they seem like they're on the best, or they're in the best place. Will that change? Perhaps, because of course they have to put everyone together. But let's first, before we get to that, let's get to the last couple, Becca and Austin. What do you think is going to happen with them? I mean, because at first they were one of the ones that I was saying, hey, they might actually make it. Do they make it? Let's find
I
out.
think that he has a difficult time expressing himself to her.
Does
his
he
needs,
now? Does
and
he?
then that's coming off to her as like, oh, well, he's not being authentic, or he doesn't.
He does. What are you talking about? It's coming off as him not being authentic. He has trouble expressing himself. Just if you're not attracted to the girl, say you're not attracted to the girl. These are the experts trying to act like they made good decisions when it came to these couples, and they're trying to justify it. I think he has trouble with this or that. No, they're not good together. And I've always said there's something. There's something that he is the way he is. He's been pulling away from her, whether it's he can't get it up, whether it's he's just not attracted to her. I don't know, but there's something there. And you trying to justify it by saying, oh, he just doesn't understand his authentic self or whatever. I'm like, come on, man. What kind of expert are you? You're supposed to be the intimacy one. Don't you have something better than she doesn't understand? We need to be translators? What are you talking about? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Believe firmly that you guys have what it takes.
Of course you
to make this
do.
work.
Of course you believe firmly that they have what it takes to make this work. Why would you not? Because you are the ones that put them together. Or at least you are the face of it. You know, who knows if it's just someone behind the scenes like, yeah, I think this one and this one might work. You know, I don't know. They might just be the face of the whole thing. Either way, of course you're going to pitch it. Of course you're going to be like, well, of course you're going to make it work. You know why? Because you look like a freaking idiot if you don't. Because it never works. Out of 17 seasons, seriously, I don't have the percentage in front of me, but how many of them might have made it work? Or how many of them are still together? It's not a high percentage. It really isn't.
I want to say yes to where it could be.
So am I hearing then that your answer
She wants
is
to
yes?
say no to where it was, but yes to where it could be. So, what are you saying?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the one that surprises me, because they are saying that, oh yes, you know, yes, I choose you even though I've been complaining about all these things, which were things you were complaining about made sense. Like, there's something wrong with him. So, but now you'd want to make it. But you know what? I do have respect for that, because in a marriage, you cannot just throw in the towel with any little thing. Now, I'm not saying there's no time for divorce. Of course, there are times for divorce. But when you're talking about things that maybe you can work through, and yes, trust can be a thing you can work through, of course. Affection can be a thing you work through. Intimacy can be a thing you work. All of these things you can work through. So power to her for saying I'm going to make it work. Okay? Power to her for that. Will it work? I still think there's some reason there that he hasn't been that way anyway, and it just hasn't come out yet.
Yes.
So what does he say?
Yes.
And he's surprised.
Aw.
Oh. Well, you know.
I'm excited to say,
Yeah.
honestly, right?
Okay, so he also wants to stay married. Fantastic, great, whatever. They're still together. You know, they made it work. I was right, then wrong, then right, wrong, then right, then wrong. I don't know. Either way, I said they weren't going to. So far, 2 of them didn't. They are saying they'll stay together. But is it the end? I don't know.
And
She is not looking
I
happy.
just got a text
Claire
from
and Emily
Claire
are out. And
and said that they just saw Austin and Brennan out with
Oh,
Austin
snap.
and I's producer, which is funny.
Austin and Brennan are out with the producer. Now, why is that significant? I'm curious. She is not happy. So why is that significant? I think we might find out. Now, she's asking him if he went out. He said a whole group. And she's definitely prying and seeing what she can find out. Let's see.
Any producers there?
Oh, the shaking of the head was quick, but the no took a second. So obviously it looks like a lie right there anyway.
No?
I don't know.
Oh, he thought twice about it really quick. She said, no, I don't know. So he knows, obviously, but he's like, he lied really quick and he's like, trying to save face, I guess I can't do that.
Do you remember?
Dude, this is like, look, he is so mad right now. He is so mad because this whole image that he's trying to portray is falling apart in front of his face. And what's he going to do other than try to keep up the positive persona because he doesn't want to look bad? So he's trying, it just comes off as uncomfortable. It really does.
Literally, you and I, the sanctity of our marriage.
What is he talking
What does
about?
that have to do with
What?
a producer?
What?
Because that
What?
has been the rift in our relationship.
Oh my God. I told you. I freaking told you. There was something there. Clearly, there was something there with this producer. He liked her. He flirted with her. I don't know, but I told you something was holding him back. He was stuck on this producer. I knew it. I told you. Points for me. I knew this was going to happen because guess what? There was always something there. There was a reason why he was pulled back. He couldn't get up. You know, he wasn't attracted to her. Obviously, he was into a producer. Everything going on behind the scenes was, you are attracted to this producer. She made it clear, I don't want you to be like, I guess, alone with the producer. And he went out with the producer. Clearly, that has been the rift the whole time. He's attracted to a producer. He's not attracted to her. It's really that simple. Points for me. It's horrible. You don't want it to fall apart. You don't want it to, you want people to be happy. But obviously, it was clear, and I'm sure all of you saw it. I saw it. My wife saw it. Everyone could see that there was an issue there. But what was it? Because they weren't taught. This was the problem with keeping things off camera. She was obviously, maybe she was trying to respect him or whatever, but this never came to light. Or maybe because she didn't want to look crazy thinking that, oh, I'm mad and jealous of a producer when nothing has really happened. I don't know if he flirted with her or what. There's a reason she was upset. But maybe because nothing actually happened or she knew about. She didn't want to kind of look crazy on TV. But now it's all coming out. And guess what? There is your problem. And that is what happened. So is it going to last? No, it's not going to last.
All of the men here have been more.
Hold on a second. Okay. All of the men here have been more concerned about optics. Yes, Brennan has. Yes, Austin has. I don't really think, I have a problem with Orion. I have since day one. I don't really think he really cared about optics because he kind of looked like a douche to begin with. So I don't think he cared. He said, I don't know about you, Michael. Okay, Cameron didn't. Cameron didn't care about optics. What are you talking about? So because Austin and Brennan cared so much, all of the guys there, you're wrapping everyone in it? I mean, come on, man. You just kind of look like a crazy person. And I feel bad for you because you drew the short straw. All of these females, for the most part, except for Claire, drew the short straw in some way. But don't make yourself look insane by talking about everyone here simply because you're upset about your relationship because your guy did wrong. I mean, come on. You need to not do that. Don't bring everyone else into it. Just stop. Of course, it doesn't get any better when it came to Cameron and Claire, and they seem like they ended on great terms, but there was a little bit more, and I had to play this at the end because obviously we're trying to get through the decision day. But it does not go well. Okay, so this becomes the problem because all the girls start to form girl clique and gang up on all the guys. Now, not all the guys were bad at every point and not all the girls were good at every point. This is what becomes problematic with relationships and all of them going forward. Because now Claire tries to jump on this and jump on Cameron like he did it. And Cameron is not standing for it.
Stand for you saying that I silenced you in any way.
It's like, look, listen.
Everything you've
listen
ever
what you said.
said.
And I agree. Up until that.
I agree. I agree and tries to give a caveat. She knows he did not try to silence her. But guess what? Claire was hiding a few secrets from behind the scenes.
Do not get on.
I've lied every single day of this marriage to protect her. And Emily decides to jump in. This is her problem. She decides to jump in on everyone else. I don't care if there's another problem in a relationship. If you're a guy with your guy friends, if you're a girl with your girlfriends, be there and support them. But for you to jump in on another relationship, don't. Just don't. You have nothing to do with Cameron and Claire. But yet, because of the whole Brennan thing, and Cameron came out and said, actually, it was me that suggested maybe we go out and hang out after all this, because guess what? He already knew that Emily and Brennan were over. Maybe it wasn't the right thing to do, but he's trying to say that. And then he goes on to say that he actually lied in every day of this marriage, because guess what was actually happening? Off screen, Claire was telling him things and saying, don't tell people. For instance, she told him that she was not attractive to him, but don't say it on camera because I don't want to look bad. And yet, we're not highlighting that. We're highlighting Austin and we're highlighting Brennan, who did wrong. But what about the this whole cluster of madness that is going on is just ridiculous. So what they had to do is, after decision day, they had to bring everyone together, stir up a massive fight, and then everyone kumbaya, and guess what ends up happening? Emily and Brennan end up hugging it out. You can't make this crap up. But that's what happened, and that is the madness of this show. Of course, Cameron leaves because he's the only one that's like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not doing this show and making it look like I'm happy when I just got basically blasted on TV for something I didn't do. Smart man to actually leave. I don't know how this is going to play out. Obviously, going forward, it's going to be more of a cluster, but I'm here for it, because next week what they're going to do is they're going to continue to play out the Michael and Chloe situation. The one couple I said maybe end up together, but we will see. And the rest of them, it's like, oh, let's see how going forward. You know how they do after the fact, which is all going to be just madness, because this has been the craziest season yet in the sense of not having anyone really match. But we will see what happens. It's going to be crazy. It's crazy every time. I appreciate your support. Thank you for being here with me. Race to 1,000. Once we get there, we're going to be looking at that live show on Thursdays. Comment, subscribe, like, hit the bell so you get notifications for new videos. I appreciate all the support, and I will see y'all next time.